Don't laugh, Mark. It's getting old
Go
enough. We're getting used to it, ain't? Yep, going live.
I hear.
Man,
Hold on.
you hear an echo? Ooh,
I got it. My
man.
bad. My bad.
So much for the professionalism.
Shoot, we blew that out the door about 7 years ago.
That's right. Are you rested up from your trip yet?
No,
Still tired.
no. I've got folks that have PM me while I was gone, and I have not had time to get back with them. Trying to producing 2 podcasts a week. It's just about more than I can handle for somebody that's computer illiterate.
Well, just think about all the money you're making off of it.
Yeah.
Well, I cried all weekend because y'all were out boogering without me. I was sitting back here slaving away, working.
Well, I hate that you were not there.
Me too.
Because, well, we have met everybody that was there, but it was just good to see them again. And it had been a while since I had seen Cheryl, and it was really good to spend time with Cheryl.
Oh, yeah. He's always great around the campfire. That dude has some stuff go on for sure. Oh, my. Take that one. Well, before you puke, let's get Anthony Kelly and Spencer Jameson on there.
You kind of have that effect on me, Larry.
I have that effect on a lot of people. Hello, Anthony Kelly.
How's it going, y'all?
Hello, Spencer.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back. So, guys, how did y'all make it through the weekend without me there harassing y'all?
Yeah, that was the hard part of the whole thing, really.
Yeah.
What to do with ourselves.
I know Anthony was disappointed.
I took your place, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you harass everybody?
I was messing with everybody.
That's good. Well, Spencer, tell me a little bit about how you decided on this area and how long it took you to decide on it.
Well, I mean, the North Carolina thing, because it's only a little bit beneath where we are now. North Carolina has a lot more reports, a lot more activity and everything. So it was just it was a likely spot to go to from the get-go. And Anthony and I had been talking about possibly going there for the past year or so. And we just had, a scheduling thing that lined up. So we were looking at going, invited a couple other people, and it just took off from there. It wasn't really planned to be a major outing of any kind. It was more like a scouting thing because we had never been there in that specific area ourselves. So it was a whole lot of work, actually, just trying to find what looked like a good location and to find possible spots to camp at and everything.
And that's it?
That's how it happened, Larry.
I know, but I thought you studied maps and encounters. And
I just said it took a long time and a lot of work to figure out where to go in that area. Yeah, I looked at a lot of different maps and a lot of different apps. Anthony found a couple really cool apps that kind of clued us into like where there were decent primitive camping spots, or what do you call it, dispersed camping?
Yeah.
So we had that, and then it was just a matter of filling in the blanks, like how far we were to reported sightings and everything. And between BFRO and a lot of encounters that were on YouTube and some that were on Facebook and different Facebook groups, from that area talking about where they had activity in there, I just sat down and plotted them on a map and, studied that a whole lot and looked for certain land features that we typically look for and kind of put it all together. And it narrowed down the search to a certain area. And I even called the ranger station in the area to make sure that everything was open and accessible. And they told me that there was only one road that was blocked off. And whenever we got there, the main forest road that has a couple auxiliary roads off of it, the main one that I wanted to go to that was lower down, and crossing over creeks and running on the back side of a big old lake, that road was actually blocked off and we didn't have a chance to go in there. And that was really disappointing. I mean, we ended up camping significantly further away than what I wanted. And we ended up camping pretty much, we weren't quite at the top, but we were near the top of the mountain chain right there. And I think the area was a good area. That whole area has a whole lot of potential, but I think we were, a little bit off the mark with where we were camping, possibly bad timing as far as, the season goes. Maybe we missed that by a little bit, but it was good to see it and scope it out and know where everything is. And I mean, we still had a good time. We still learned a lot. We still got to get out in the woods and check stuff out and everything. It wasn't a waste of a trip by any means. It just wasn't super productive. And I think a lot of it was because we couldn't get into the areas that looked more promising.
Well, a lot of times you can go to an area and the first day is sometimes dead anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 days to get any activity, but how was the traffic otherwise? Tourism, tourists, hikers? Was there a lot of people around?
Yeah.
It was a little bit busier than what we had anticipated because where we ended up camping at, we were camping in like the second and third spot actually the third spot that I had picked out. That area anyway, we were camping up there, and because it was so high up, it was right near a couple trailheads, and because the weather was fairly nice this weekend, they were pretty busy. We didn't see a whole lot of them, but they were in the woods there, so that probably played a part of it as well.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, don't you just sit there. Tell us about these apps you were helping out with.
So I got into overlanding. Spencer turned me on to his truck modifications. And so I went on overlanding and found a couple people off of Instagram. And then they were sitting on a YouTube page telling us how what apps they use to coordinate to get certain pictures for their Instagram to get ratings and stuff like that. So iOverlander was mainly one of them, and it went in specifically talking about like amenities, pictures. It even lists what dates, so you could get a good idea of how recent somebody was viewing and commenting on that area. Another one was Gaia GPS. That way you can see like trails and stuff like that around, which helps out a lot. That was nice. And the last one I used Google Maps, but mainly Google Earth too, because you could really get a feel of like certain areas and people taking pictures, and you can look at that and get a kind of a look inside of where we were going. And I was spent some of the stuff and was like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So
yeah, that's a great thing now with the technology. You can not have any knowledge of an area, but you can look at these apps, you can look at maps, and pretty much know the area without even stepping foot on it.
Well,
so, go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say, I think Spencer did a really good job with with finding this place. There was a trailhead, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile up front of us. And so we didn't really anticipate the hikers coming in. But once it got dark, the hikers were gone. And so it was a great spot. And Spencer actually captured some pretty cool audio. And but it was a great time, and it is a good spot. I would go back in a heartbeat.
Was the terrain different than where we go in eastern Kentucky or northern Georgia, or was it similar to northern Georgia?
It was similar, but the elevation of the mountains were a whole lot higher there.
Yeah. Were they straight up, or?
A lot of them were. A lot of them were just straight cliffs.
Yeah, that's rough on a fat boy like me.
And me too, man. I was huffing.
So, what day did y'all arrive?
It's Friday.
Yeah, Friday the 12th.
So, who put the agenda together? Was that Anthony?
I knew it. I knew it was going to come to this.
You knew what?
We shot from the hip, I think.
We essentially looked at the calendar and we said, what day can we all go that Larry can't go?
Yes, I know. I'm aware of that.
And then I was messaging everybody behind your back saying, okay, if we can all do this weekend, we'll shut Larry out and we won't have to worry about him.
Hey, that's been done before. Don't you worry.
This is
and it'll be done again.
Yeah, it will be. No doubt about it.
We're going to do it again next year. We already talked about it.
heck yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty sad. What, you planned it about 2-3 months ahead of time? And I was telling you the whole time, I can't get off that weekend. Move it to another weekend. And no.
We really don't like you.
Well, that's pretty evident.
No, it was much love there. It was much love.
Let's see if I throw y'all on any 25-pound catfish anymore.
Oh,
don't be like that.
Hey, I'll bring the dull knife to cut it.
Have you learned how to fillet a catfish yet?
Yeah, get a sharp knife.
Okay, that does help. All right, so Mark, you were there. Lead us on down the path of what went on.
Well, I was really excited for Spencer and Cheryl to meet because I just had a good feeling that they would mesh well.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to meeting Anthony. I didn't get to meet him when he came with Spencer to LBL. So it was great to meet. And Anthony's a great guy. He's just one of those guys that you would want to go fishing with.
I have went fishing with him.
Yeah.
I brought the Kool-Aid balls last time. That's why you caught them catfish, man.
Oh my goodness. Carry on, Mark. We don't want to talk about no rice balls dipped in Kool-Aid.
No.
Well, I was just going to ask Spencer what he thought of Cheryl and his experiences and his knowledge that he has and what he actually learned from Cheryl.
Yeah. The meeting Cheryl was probably the highlight of it for me because I mean he's a fairly well-known person in the community and whatnot. He's got man, some of his stories are just, incredible. And he's a wealth of knowledge. He's just a really nice guy. He knows a lot aside from the whole Booger thing. I mean, he's very well spoken, and he's an outdoorsman. You can you can talk to someone like that about pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be Bigfoot related,
Yeah.
And he kept us entertained. He was part of the highlight of the whole thing for me, because we didn't have a whole lot of activity. But realistically, I mean, that's just how it goes a lot of the times. I mean, a lot of time you're not in the thick of it. You don't have boogers crawling up on you or whatnot. And a lot of it is going to come down to hanging out at camp and seeing the area and learning new things and whatnot. I mean, we got to mess around with some new equipment and see how that worked. We tested the thermal through the trash bag thing. That actually works. We got to spend time around the campfire, just getting to know each other. And I got to go out on a little bit of a hike with Cheryl. It wasn't anything, super long, but Anthony and I tagged along with Cheryl. Wanted to look and see if we could see any sign down this power line strip and in the woods right there surrounding it. And, he pointed out some stuff. I've never seen an area so thick with laurel and rhododendron. It was so viney and so thick that whenever you think about these people that have had encounters and they talk about Bigfoot, just plowing through this stuff like a truck, it gives you a whole different sense of what's happening whenever you see it up close, because this area is a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm used to the height and the terrain. Some of the plant life was a little bit different. But anyway, it was just it was really good to see everybody and camp. We didn't have a whole lot of activity, but we got to get out and see the area and everything. And I mean, to me, it was just as good of a trip. I mean, anytime you're in the woods is better than just sitting at home. So
You ain't lying. Now, Spencer, you bought a thermal for this trip, right? Or
yeah,
before this trip.
Yeah.
So what did you wind up getting?
It is a AGM Ask T38 something. I forget what it is. It's it's a couple steps up from like any of the baseline thermals. I was pretty impressed with it. It's got an app that will allow you to view it from your phone or the tablet or whatnot.
Right.
So you can record and zoom in and change the palette and everything from your phone. And I got to mess with. This was the first time I ever got to really use it. I mean, I only got it like a week and a half before the trip, so I had taken it out a couple times to play with it, but this was my first time to really get to use it and everything.
In comparison to the one Mark has, is the clarity similar and the range on it and all that?
Yeah, well, everything that I've looked at with it has been within like 300-400 yards. I haven't really reached out with it. And to be honest, I don't think you could, maybe on some of the $5,000 or $10,000 ones, you could really tell what you're looking at 1,000 yards. But, within 200-300 yards, it's significantly clearer than most of the other thermals that I've had a chance to see before. Right. So I'm like, Mark, I cannot believe you posted.
Spencer the log humper.
I was trying to get Shelley to join me, and she wouldn't.
Did you go backwards on it?
Man? What about Shelly's glasses? Don't forget that one, Mark. Shelly's glasses. Wow.
Oh, that is great. Where were we before you started humping on that log?
what happens on a camp out stays on a camp out.
Yeah, we told Mark that, man. Dude.
Well,
Uh,
I want to answer a question here. I saw where Central Florida Bigfoot asked a question about thermals and plastic bags. And about 7 years ago, I was at a conference and a guy from a Texas Bigfoot group talked about how they would take one of these camping gazebos and wrap like plastic contractor bags around it so that they could sit on the inside of it and not be seen with the naked eye. But a thermal will be able to go through the plastic bag so you can move around in there and be able to check out north, south, east, and west and be able to see if there's anything coming up to you without something being on the outside looking in and seeing somebody on the inside of it. So that's a great strategy, and I'm glad that we were able to test that out this past weekend.
yeah, that is a cool thing to try out because a lot of times they won't do anything till you're out of sight and they think you're done for the night. So that is a pretty cool strategy. And a lot of people don't know that thermal will go through a plastic bag. And I don't understand why it won't go through mesh on a tent, but I guess the mesh is different substance and thicker than what the plastic bag is. Did y'all try it through the mesh?
No.
No.
I tried the TK Scout through the mesh and it won't do it, but the TK Scout is not very good. Not very good. So, what type of activities did y'all do besides eat?
We did some hiking and checking out different spots. Of course, when you go into a situation like this that you've never been before, you don't know what if they're going to be at that location at that particular time. So it was, but we were going in there to look for signs, and we did find some signs.
Yeah.
And picked up some pretty awesome vocals and some other activity on the audio that I thought was really cool.
Well, let's talk about the signs y'all seen because there's a few people that want to hear some Bigfoot stuff. So, what type of sign did y'all find?
Shelly found well, we'll let Shelly talk about it when she comes on, but we hiked up to an overlook and there was a sapling that was broke and twisted. It really wasn't twisted a lot, but you could tell by the way that it broke that it was twisted when it got broke. And I thought, well, okay, we're at an overlook, so maybe somebody could have done that. Well, I tried to reach out from where I was at and could not reach it. It was probably another 8 feet beyond my reach. And so I went off the overlook and tried to go down where this break was at. And there was no way to get where the break was at. And if you were able to get to it, it was too tall to have for a human to have broke it. It was, you would have where the broke was at, standing on the ground, you would have had to been able to reach up probably about 9 feet to be able to break it.
Well, don't give up. Keep going.
Well,
I just wanted Spencer to say that, and he wasn't looking.
I saw it.
Okay.
It's an AGM ASP TM25-384.
And it costs $50 at Goodwill.
Yeah,
Amen.
and I made payments on it.
So is the twist brake the only sign? No possible tracks, no structures, no dead Bigfoot babies or nothing?
Cheryl and Spencer and Anthony did find some possible prints and knuckle prints. And maybe Spencer can elaborate on that a little bit.
Unless Anthony wants to.
Talk about
It's okay. Well, we went down this. We drove up into the area, and there's a road that winds off. I don't know the name of it. And we went back up in there. Yeah. So we went back up in there, and there's a power line where they cleared it all out. So we went down in there and was checking it out, and Cheryl was telling us some things that we could look for that I didn't think about because I'm the new guy. I don't know too much about that. And he saw something I think was to the right. He's like, we might find something down here. So then we go off to the ridge and we went way down in there. And I mean, it was thick. Like I about fell on my face, slide down. You probably would laugh, Larry. But we got down to this, and I've never seen nothing like this before, but we got down to this creek that was under the soil. And whenever it looked like it got too much rainwater, it had these little openings that would flare up with water. And then there was Spencer saw some type of animal track, and we got to looking at that, and that's when we started seeing knuckle, what we think is knuckle prints, and maybe some type of foot track right there.
Yeah.
And we venture around, we try to find some structures and stuff like that, but man, that place that's the place right there y'all showing. That was thick, buddy. And I was trying to get thermals walking out on the edges while they were looking down. I mean, I think we found some turkey tracks as well, and they were about this big around, and they were about, I want to say probably maybe an inch into the soil. So there's some game going around up in there, but it was thick.
Do you think that the knuckle tracks that was on all fours chasing the animal track, going after the animal?
We didn't see that. We didn't see no animal track going in there that I saw. I don't know if anybody else saw it.
Yeah.
I was too busy trying to not get falling on my face because it was really steep and thick with laurel.
Yeah. Well, from what I'm seeing on this video, something like that, as deep in there as y'all were, you won't see a lot of structures. They seem to make the structures out on the edges more than they do in the deeper parts, unless you just get in their little living room, and then you'll see more. But I don't know. It's weird to go into a big place like that. I know LBL, Mark and I have walked many ridges and hollows, and you don't see much sign whenever you get deep in there. It's like they don't need to make it. I don't understand what the sign means. I'm not an expert by no means, but it just seems to be on the fringe areas there's more sign than in the heart of an area where people normally don't go.
There was.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Spencer.
Well, I was just going to say that, a lot of times whenever, like around here where I'm at, whenever I find an area that has anything that I think of as possible structure, it will kind of stand out because I'll find a lot of it in one spot. Like I won't find it necessarily spread out. It's not like it's everywhere, but whenever I find it, it's normally within a certain space, and it looks a little bit different because there will be possible manipulations all within a certain area, and the rest of the woods will look like normal. We never really found anything that was that gateway or was that starting point to look for anything. It was just so thick. So the area that Anthony was talking about down by that down there in that holler off to the side of the power line, what happened was Cheryl had noticed an opening in the rhododendron right there where it actually did look like an entrance, and that's why we went down in that area. And that was, going down in there, it looked like whenever we first got down in there, it looked like it was open enough that maybe something could have made that pathway down through there, but we didn't see the typical branch breaks everywhere or all that. And then whenever we got down to the bottom, we saw what maybe possibly could have been tracks of some type or whatnot, but it just wasn't enough to make you go, yeah, this is something. It was just one of those things where it was curious and you wanted to note it and everything, but we just didn't have any real luck being as high as we were in that area. We just didn't have any real luck finding like a starting point. Now, Shelly, and I think Mark noticed an X down lower, but Shelly had found a something that was really interesting down lower. But like I said, the road was closed off and we just couldn't get in there. So we had to deal with being up higher. And I think that was a disadvantage for us.
Does this area, is the elevation enough that there's snowfall on the peaks of the mountain, the tops of them, or are they not that tall there?
I wouldn't think so. I don't know for a fact, but only because the elevation there is probably anywhere from 500 to 700 foot less than what it is right here in my area. And we don't have that. So, but I'm not positive. I'm not down there all the time.
All right. Well, if it's less elevation than where you're at, it should be similar anyway. So yeah. I just thought that maybe most of the animals were pushed down lower on the mountain in the valleys or something because of the winter. But that's what happens when you're not used to an area. You don't really know.
We didn't see a whole lot of normal wildlife up there where we were. We didn't see a whole lot of deer. I don't think we heard, maybe once or twice we might have heard a coyote yip in the distance. Everything seemed to be further down the mountain than where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, tell me, this is really your first outing with a group.
Yep.
What did you take away from it?
Oh, there's a vast of knowledge from different sorts of people. It was fun and interesting. A learning experience. Learned a lot from Cheryl, and stuff that he brought to the table. When we went out down the power line, there's certain things I didn't know about that he told me about, and I was like, I didn't know that. So, and everybody was really friendly and open and really nice. Funny at the same time. We laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Mainly at Spencer. we found out who slept on the bottom.
Oh,
This is a G-rated show, Anthony.
That's right. Anthony.
I stopped there. I just said it. I just said it. You know, I didn't go nowhere else.
Spencer, no, you drug him into all this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the OG right there.
right about now, I'm regretting that.
He loves me. He loves me.
Yeah, he does. Spencer, I was telling Mark before y'all went on this about a week or two ago. I said it's amazing how far you came in the short time you've been involved in this, because I can remember you sending me little videos of structures and stuff and asking me opinions. And now you're out studying areas, you're looking at topo maps and calling people to come and go out with you in an area you found.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? Are you more comfortable with the subject now, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
you just know none of us know enough for it to really matter?
There might be some of that too. No, it's I mean it's a steep learning curve, but I think it makes all the difference in the world. Getting to know the right people and you know, if you can find people that are willing to share, they're not going to give it to you for free, but people that are willing to point you in the right direction. If you're willing to actually go out and get in the woods and look for the stuff, I mean, I think you find enough to eventually start drawing your own conclusions and everything. And a whole lot of people in this subject, you know, I think they want everything handed to them. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's natural to want to ask people, you know, well, how do I do this? How, you know, where do I go? What do I look for and everything? But a lot of this stuff really does come down to you just putting in the dirt time and getting out there and finding it yourself. And like this, I mean, this was, you know, as much as I'm used to being in the woods, I'm not used to looking at an area on the internet that I've never been to before, much less, you know, have other people show up. And, you know, this was it was a little frustrating for me to get there and have the main area that I wanted to check out, have it be blocked off because, you know, then I like all these people had come up here, you know, because I said this was a good looking area. And, you know, to not be able to go to that spot, I mean, it was kind of a letdown. But
there's a tree break.
Yeah, that's definitely twisted. But I mean, it's just it's a learning experience, and you know, the more you do it, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to impress anybody, and most of these people are my friends anyway outside of this. So I mean, you know, we had a chance to meet new people and to hang out around camp, and we got to get in the woods. And like I said, you got to be prepared for, you know, for it to not be a lot of activity and everything. That's typically what happens anyway. So this was just
yeah. That's one thing people need to understand. Just because you're going on an outing don't mean you're going to bring back pictures of Bigfoot every time. You're not going to bring back the next Patterson Gimlin video. You're not going to have 20 casts of footprints or 500 hours of structures or nothing like that. Sometimes you go out and you come out of the woods and what you walked in with, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Except the experience of knowing what that part of the woods has to offer. And sometimes it has nothing. It may just be a pass-through point that they don't really linger there enough to leave any sign.
And, you know, 3 years ago, if I had gone on a trip like this and someone had pointed out, oh, there's a possible little structure like the one that Shelley had found. If I had gotten to see that, you know, the whatever those markings were in the moss that Cheryl found, that could have been a track, could have been a knuckle print, you know, possibly maybe a partial vocal was recorded. This would have been a winner for me. I mean, if I was new to it and everything, and maybe I just expected a little bit more from the area, you know. But I just think it was, you know, with the road being blocked off, with us being that high, maybe we hit at the wrong time of year. It was a little disappointing in those aspects, but that was the only thing. I mean, the rest of it, it was great. We still got to learn a whole lot. We still got to meet new people. I mean, you know, like on the thermal, there was a little clip there where we were looking at something on the second night. We thought it possibly could have been eye shine at first. Well, I did, but I'm fairly inexperienced with reviewing the thermal stuff, especially while it's happening live. You know, I see two glowing red things, and first thing that jumped in my head was, hey, maybe it's eye shine. And if it had just been a still shot, if I hadn't been taking video, I probably would have walked away thinking that it was eye shine.
Yeah.
But because we recorded for about an hour and a half off and on, and there were so many clips, whenever I got home and I could blow them up and look at them on, you know, a much larger screen, you can see when you zoom in that what it actually is squirrels, but it doesn't look like that whenever you're just looking through the excuse me, the eyepiece of the thermal or looking at it on my phone or whatnot. So, you know, stuff like that, it's a learning experience. Would be very easy to edit a little clip of that and make it appear to be eye shine, or do a single picture and have everybody thinking it was eye shine, but it wasn't. So, I mean, you know, I learned something about that, learned something about the mountaintops and the laurel and the rhododendron, you know. It was a great time. We had a good time.
Hey,
You know,
that's all that matters.
It was pretty exciting whenever we got that hit on the thermals.
Yeah.
And seeing animals moving around, and that happened both nights. And so that was pretty cool. And I know one animal we could not figure out what it was. And I don't know who figured it out, but somebody figured out that it was flying squirrels. And so to be able to capture flying squirrels on a thermal was really, really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And it will make you draw up a little bit whenever you see that, and you think it's eye shine for sure. All right, y'all recorded some audio. I see that Mark's got it up here. I'm going to play it so everybody can hear it. Do y'all want to explain what this is before I play it? Or do you want to wait till after I play it?
You can play it first.
All right. We'll see y'all later. All right.
That was from the first night, and or the first morning, and we actually heard that the next morning, and there was about, I guess, 2 people that heard the first one, which was the one that we played, and it's, as far as vocalizations, of course, we can't say what it is, but it is not canine, and it is not a human that made that vocalization. And so right after that vocalization, I may have to remove that. Spencer, how much time went by before those knocks that we heard?
About 3 minutes.
So it was that howl first that we heard, and then right after that we heard these knocks, and Larry will play these 5 times too.
My bad, Mark. Rookie. So y'all didn't have nothing happen, huh?
So both mornings we heard a single howl like that. This first one, what time was that, Spencer? About 5:30 something?
Yeah, 5:30 a.m. 5:32 and 5:35. 5:32 was the howl, 5:35 was the knock.
And the second morning, it was about 6:15 in the morning. So it was around the same time in the morning that the people at camp heard these howls.
Well, all I can say is Spencer's getting jaded. He said nothing happened, and he's got howls and wood knocks going on. What's up with that?
I mean, I expected more from the area.
I expect more every time I go, and it just don't happen all the time. But if you're getting some interaction or some activity, you're in the ballpark. How about that?
Okay. I think the howls appeared to be, I might be wrong on this, but the howls appeared to be coming from a ridge over. We were at a really high, steep terrain, and the drop off was pretty steep. I think that the howls were coming from further away. The knocks, apparently, if they are knocks, were significantly closer. I don't know if they're necessarily connected, but I mean, I just expected more from the area. If we could have been down lower, I think we would have found more sign, but there's next time. So
That's right. And just make sure you plan it whenever I can't be there.
no, not to worry.
All right. We got Shelly and Kendall in the back. So do y'all have any parting words y'all want to say before I kick y'all to the curb for not letting me go?
No, if Rodney ever gets his butt up on here, I'm going to leave some comments for him while he's talking.
What about Dean? Do you have any comments for Dean?
No.
I think he folded up his tent and went home finally. I don't know. But, well, Anthony, do you have any last words you want to share here about your outing experience?
I just
guess
love
not.
being there with everybody.
Oh. That's it?
Was that?
So you're the one that sleeps on the bottom?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to go there. I didn't say it enough.
Well, I think that's why Spencer enjoys them hopping on them logs, because that way he gets to get on top.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all coming on here.
See y'all.
No problem. Thank y'all for having me.
Hopefully y'all got to talk enough. I don't know. Mark talked more than I did. All right, guys.
Show all the time.
We'll do it again, and we'll have more time, hopefully.
All right. See y'all.
All right. See y'all.
See ya.
Are y'all gone? He's gone, Mark. He's gone.
You need a mouse, Larry.
I need a mouse. Shelly ordered me one. She ain't gave it to me, though.
I'll get
Hello,
you one.
Shelley.
Hey.
Hello, Mark.
Howdy.
How y'all guys doing?
Doing just wonderful.
We also got Patrick Noble joining us too.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey.
Patrick.
So, guys, you've heard what Spencer and Anthony had to say, I guess. Shelley,
Yeah.
why don't you start and tell us about that structure you found?
What, the one we had the picture? I found a bunch of stuff. Which one are you talking about?
Well, talk about all of it, but the most significant one.
Well, I found a lot going down the road. I mean, lots of breaks and twists and not many tree bows, but
Mark, maybe you are to ask her.
I know. I don't know I saw so much, it's all run together.
You and Spencer were talking before the show about something you found that was woven.
Yeah, I had the picture. The picture's on there. I just took a picture. Oh, that one. There was so much to see. We had stopped by the side of the road looking for, just looking at the scenery and, taking pictures, looking for a place to camp, checking everything out. And I was walking around and just happened to see that it was just a low bush next to the road. It was on the back side. I don't know, Mark's probably got it on there somewhere. You can see in the road in the background. It was just a little pile of woven sticks. And I just thought it was interesting. I took a picture of it. Because I just thought it was interesting. Usually sticks don't fall that way, and it's a good thing to log. So, I saw a lot of stuff, but it's usually when you're going down the road and it's too fast to say stop and hit the brakes. So that was just one thing that I got a picture of.
All right, Cantrell, what about you? What happened with you on this outing? Did you learn anything from Mark Nebel?
Yeah, but first I just want to say I'm a little upset that Shelley thinks I drive too fast because she can't take pictures.
I was talking about Mark. You're an excellent driver.
Well, I had a fantastic time, and my goodness, what a privilege it was to be able to be on this outing and be able to see the things that we saw. Just absolutely beautiful country. Of course, I live in North Carolina. I've been here since 1993, and I can truly call this my state, and I just love this state. It has such beauty and such diversity from the coast and the beaches all the way to the mountains. So I really, really enjoyed it. And the guys and lady that I was able to spend time with this weekend, the knowledge that I was able to listen to and to hear, it was just phenomenal. It's a really good weekend. And I know Spencer said that he didn't find many things, and that's fine. But you know what? I don't think we really had to find many things. Just the ability to sit around and have fellowship and the camaraderie, that was enough.
I agree with that. Patrick, last outing you went on, you found all kinds of tracks. Did you go to North Carolina expecting to find another trackway?
Spencer was putting a lot of pressure on me. But he's like chasing a rabbit around, man.
Yeah.
But, it was great to see Mark and Shelley and meet the other guys that come into camp, man. It was awesome. I had a great time. And it's only about an hour and a half away from me, so I'll be going back down there some.
Yeah. Well, that'd be
You've
good.
already been back down there one time, Patrick.
Yeah. Yep.
What happened there, Patrick? I heard you made a return visit.
I couldn't find my wallet. Right after Spencer told me, you got your keys in your wallet? And I said, yeah. Well, I got to the bottom of the hill. I couldn't find my wallet. So I went back up there, and it was in the bed of my truck the whole time.
Spencer threw it in the bed of your truck as you drove off, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
He done checked it for cash.
I got down pretty quick. I wasn't up there long.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was great. It's beautiful up there.
But
yeah,
I hate you couldn't make it.
Oh, me too, definitely.
Well,
That
I'm
won't
not.
happen again.
Yeah,
Evidently,
maybe next
nobody
time.
else is either.
Hey, I got to do some hoot owl calls.
Yeah,
Oh
Those are
yeah.
great.
Yeah, Spencer's a good caller. I mean,
Yeah.
Spencer,
Patrick.
Patrick, and but this is one of the things that we do is we lean on each other, and with Mark being close and Patrick being close, now that's where whenever we meet up again, that they can go in and pre-scout the area for us and hit different signs. The weather had changed a lot, going from really cold to warming up. So that could have had something to do with maybe the boogers were heading down the mountain looking for food with the weather change. So that's something that we will be able to lean on Patrick and Mark the next time that we go there.
Yeah, definitely. I will try to get up in there. I think we'd have been. It was beautiful up there where we at, but I believe lower down we'd have probably had better success.
Mm.
But it was pretty up there though. I really enjoyed it.
Well, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
like Spencer said, it was a scouting expedition, really,
Yes.
to see if it was a viable area to get some activity. And obviously, they did get a little bit of activity, which was fine. I haven't listened to my recorder yet. I'm hoping that I got the same thing. I'm excited about that. Hearing those audios, that's great stuff.
yeah.
Yes, that was awesome.
Well, Spencer was nice. He'd tell you about what time he heard them, and you could go to them and see.
I have a general idea of what time, so I'm gonna check that out. Of course, you know, my recorder was in the top of my tent, so I may not have anything but snoring.
Yeah, if you're close to Mark Newell, that's what you got. All right,
we
Mark.
may have been doing some tunes or whatever back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear nobody complaining, Larry.
Well, that's good. Real good. Maybe that mouthpiece helped. Did it help, Shelley?
I didn't hear any snoring, but I think Mark was talking about himself snoring.
Yeah, that's what I was
It
talking about.
wasn't-
Oh, okay.
It was too far away, but no, it wasn't bad. We did hear I thought it sounded like a whoop Sunday morning. Did you hear that, Mark? Kenchel?
Yes, I heard it.
I know you did because you were awake. But Kenchel, did you were asleep, weren't you?
I
You
was
didn't hear
still sawing logs. I was fast asleep.
it? I would be
I
interested to
thought-
see
I
what that
heard
was
those
called.
Those tree knocks over behind where I was camped.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
wondering if it's
you had the late night crew, which was Cheryl and I think Patrick and myself. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Spencer. It was Cheryl, Spencer, and myself. We stayed up till midnight on the second night, and I think about 1 o'clock in the morning on the first night. And so we slept in a little bit later to about 7 or 8 o'clock. So we didn't hear any of those morning calls.
You know why Cheryl stays up, don't you?
No.
Because every time he gets in his tent, a booger usually messes with him. That dude is a magnet. That's all I know.
It
They
was
heard-
awesome to meet him.
yeah.
It was.
They got to hear a lot of those stories, Larry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. He's had some things happen. And he's not on here tonight because he's going to be our guest Thursday night. And he will talk about this outing, I'm sure. But he's got so many stories. It's unreal. And they're great. Cheryl's a great dude. No doubt
That will
about
be
it.
a great show.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
If anybody in the chat has any questions for our guests about the outing or anything, feel free to ask them. Put them in all caps. and Mark Nebel will chastise me for not looking at them just like I do him. So, who was the main cook for this outing? Or did everybody bring their own?
It was kind of everybody cooked for themselves most of the time. We eat out one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we munched out a little old restaurant up there. Poor old Spencer, they didn't bring him his French fries.
Yeah, Patrick was nice. He treated us to lunch. It was a good lunch, but we were tired from hiking around and looking at things. So it was a nice break not to have to go back to camp and dig for something to eat. So,
But I'll tell you, if you want to cook on the outings, you definitely need to invite Anthony. He was over there just cooking up a storm. First night he had burgers. I walked by, I think on Sunday morning, and he had sausages and kind of like an egg bacon scramble. And oh my goodness.
Yeah,
he got all that experience from all them chaps he's got.
He was definitely.
He said that Shelley wouldn't eat his cooking.
Oh.
I'm not a breakfast eater. I just don't really. It looked great. Mark said I missed out. I probably should have tried it, but I'm just not hungry in the morning. So sorry, Anthony.
Well, Helton wants to know, did y'all get to go to any good North Carolina restaurants? Where did y'all eat?
I don't remember the name of that place. Do you?
I can't remember the name of the place, but it's right at a crossroads just south of the Linville Falls.
Yeah.
Well, I must not have liked the food that much if I don't remember it.
Well, Cheryl liked his. He had meatloaf and green beans, and I think some mashed potatoes, and most of us got burgers. My burger was really good. Swiss mushroom bacon burger. It was really good. And everybody was commenting on the, was it chocolate fudge cake? But nobody got any.
Hey, they had hot fudge cake, Larry.
Oh, we should have got one. We were going to get one and send
Just
you a
take
picture,
picture
Larry.
of it. We were so full. I was going to take it and send you a picture.
Now, that would have made me mad if y'all had got that. Who cares about the outing? I want the hot fudge cake. Scott wants to know who took the pictures that we're looping here.
That was pretty much everybody, Scott. I tried to, except for Mark. Mark has an awesome gimbal, and but the file was too large, and I could not get it open. But this is kind of everybody's pictures that we're showing tonight.
Did y'all get to try Mr. Bob's? That's a no. They don't even know what Mr. Bob's is. Maybe you need to look it up next time. We will, because I'm going to go next time, whether y'all like it or not. Were y'all in the area where they dig for gems?
We had
Kelly commented on that.
Yeah, we had passed a couple places that they did have the digging for gems.
Yeah. There's a little gold somewhere around that area too, isn't it?
Yeah, Uari is a gold mining area. McCullough gold mine is down there. You can go to see it near High Point.
Yeah. Man, that would be. Last time we went, well, no, it was the time before last we went to northern Georgia. We did some gold panning. That's whenever we got Shelley on the log instead of Spencer. But I enjoy doing different things whenever I'm out camping like that. It just makes it a little more adventurous to me. I don't know. But
I just wish we had more time to do things like that. You're there, late Friday, and then you just basically have, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and Saturday, and then Sunday morning you got to pack up and go. So, I just wish we could have stayed longer and done, spent more time in the area looking and scouting, because it was a beautiful area, lots of places to go to. So we definitely want to go back.
Well, when are y'all planning on going back?
When are you working?
All year long. I guarantee it.
No, we really missed you, Larry. I think Anthony missed you the most. That's the first thing he said to me when he met me. So we all missed you.
Here's a good question from Johnny Gill, Night Wolf. Will Larry be allowed to go next time if he behaves? Probably not.
Well, you'll have to start planning another meet and greet, man. We'll have to meet up somewhere.
Well, we have been talking about it and haven't made any definite plans yet, because Mark always goes, oh. And then Shelly goes, we ain't feeding everybody. Everybody's going to have to bring their own.
Well, if they want cold food, it's hard to get all that heated up. But, there are so many good places to choose from. I mean, it's hard to decide where to go.
Yeah.
There's so many good places to go. We're really going to have to, narrow it down.
These jobs getting away.
I hope to go with Mark over to Uwari sometime soon.
That'd be great.
Maybe him and his son, and we can drag ourselves over there for a weekend. We're very close.
Yep.
Rick Wright has a good idea. Maybe you should have a log scudding race with Shelly and Spencer.
No, Spencer would win. He tried to get me on that log. I wouldn't go, so.
Yeah, that was rude. He was trying to share with you.
I'm telling you, I did not know that Mark took video of him until I just saw it a while ago. That was hilarious.
Mr. Lee 3PO, have any of you ever found gold? Well,
no, but I know all the creeks over here in this area have gold in them.
yeah.
I know Cheryl has in Georgia. Cheryl has found gold before.
Yeah, Larry and I tried in Georgia. It's a lot of work. We just were too inexperienced at it. And it was just, something fun to do. But I really wasn't expecting to find anything. But it was fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was fun saying, Shelly, dig by that rock. Shelly, dig by that one. I enjoyed that.
Mark was talking about that tree twisted right there. I don't know how anyone could have reached over there and got that.
No. I tried to get it from over the side of the overlook. Underneath it, it was way too tall. There's no way that a human could have reached that from any direction.
Yeah, and it was probably 2.5, 3 inches thick.
Yes,
it took some force.
All right. Carrie asks, what's the consensus? Are there boogers in there? What do y'all feel about North Carolina, the spot y'all went to?
Oh, I think definitely there's some areas in there that surely they could be.
It's definitely a fruitful area. It's perfect habitat for them. With the mountains and all of the creeks and the lake. It's just a great area to go.
And there have been sightings in the area too. So that's one of the reasons why it was chosen.
I think they call that big flat plateau over there Table Rock.
Yeah.
I've been on the other side, on the Brown Mountain side. I don't know if you all ever heard of the Brown Mountain Lights.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's on the other side of that. I've been in that area, but I haven't been on this side.
I'd like to go check that out sometime.
Yeah, I went up there last summer. It was very cool.
Did you see the lights?
No, I didn't see any lights.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I've
but people were
seen.
there all the time for it.
Yeah, I saw a show. I can't remember what show, but they were there. It may have been something like Fact or
That
Fake or whatever.
that big plateau in that picture, I
Uh
think
huh.
that's what they call Table Rock. That flat.
Huh.
That's a beautiful area.
Well, Katie G says y'all should camp on South Mountain. There's something around there. Are y'all familiar with South Mountain?
No.
I'm not, but Katie
I
was
am.
messaging us, and because she's familiar with the area,
Yeah.
and also Bobby is familiar with the area, and I
Yeah.
think that would be great the next time we go that we get some locals to come in there with us.
Yeah, that's always great to have somebody that knows the area and
Well,
has
Katie,
had
I
some activity.
suggested South Mountain on it.
And they said
Katie,
no.
I suggested South Mountain a couple of times to them. They were positive about it, even positive to Uari, but I've been down there in Game Lands. That's where I've had activity down there at South Mountain Game Lands. And there's a great place up there that I would love to take them to and hike in somewhere around some of those fields up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some activity up there.
Whit Hilton says Louise's Rock House Restaurant, Linville, North Carolina, sits on 3 county lines. That don't sound familiar?
That's right.
That may have been it.
That's what it was, Louise's Rock House Restaurant.
Yeah.
There you
that
go.
was it. That's where we ate. And she
Whit-
says sits on 3 county lines. If when you sit in the restaurant, there are signs up there that say going into such and such a county or going into the other county right there in the restaurant.
Uh-oh. Katie G. Brown Mountain Overlook is where I heard the coughing stick breaking beastie that run me back to the car. How about that?
Yeah.
Stevie B. Filipino, yeah, me too. Mark, have you been talking to her?
No.
I was kidding, Mark. You're always talking about them. Never mind, Mark.
I know where you're going with that, but you're the one that started that when we were down in Texas.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. My bad, folks.
Why don't you tell that story, Larry?
I can't tell that story. We don't have time. And Mark Kentrell's on there. He'd think bad of me. Did nobody ate trout there or fish? At that Louise's.
Don't rope.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, Mark
I
made
guess
mention
not.
of that while we were there. I think it was like $14 for the trout, but he wanted to get some of that.
Well, I don't know why Shelley didn't buy it for him, but
Well, that's what I was going to get. And then Patrick said that he was buying lunch, and I thought, I'm not going to order $14 trout when I can get a $6 hamburger. Somebody else is paying for it. So I was being
Man,
nice.
I didn't care.
Katie G says she'd be happy to show y'all around and give you some tips. But it'd be useful as a screen porch on a submarine if you wanted me to look for one. Been there, done that. Prefer not to repeat it. Oh, me. But she'll point you on the right direction anyway.
Well, we'll put her in a tent with Shelley.
All right, Mark Neville, you were at this outing. Ask Mark Kinchell and Patrick and Shelley some questions that you know about that I don't know about. And make it nice. Don't get too ruthless with it.
Well, Mark and Patrick, y'all got to meet a good friend of ours, Cheryl Corntassel. How did y'all enjoy Cheryl's company and what all he shared with us around the campfire?
Cheryl was an awesome person. I really enjoyed talking to him, learning things. I'm gonna go visit him down in Georgia if I ever get a chance. Thoroughly enjoyed being around him. Very nice person.
Mark,
Kent?
what
Yeah,
about
I
you?
would concur with that. Very genuine, very genuine, very down to earth, very personable. You know, somebody that would listen to for all of the knowledge that he has and that he was more than willing to listen to what you had to say as well, and listen to your feedback and your stories. But just sitting around the fire, he is such a good storyteller. The detail that he has and what he presents draws you in. When he talks and tells you a story, it feels like you can see it in your mind's eye. You can picture it, what he's talking about. Just a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the animation that Cheryl puts into whenever he's telling these stories and stuff. He brings you into it like you're almost there. And he's had so many experiences. And
Well, you know, you're sitting there listening to him, and all of a sudden he'll come. Listening to him, and all of a sudden he'll come to a point and he'll stand up. Like, you know, he's got you riveted. You know, you have to sit up in your seat to listen to him.
And what's crazy is most of his experiences, he was just hiking and going trout fishing or something, kayak fishing. He don't really look for them. He's just a magnet, and they seem to come to him for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's why from now on I will put my tent next to Cheryl.
Some people's like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
One of them.
Yep.
But, yeah, he's
Still,
really a good guy.
Yeah.
I was happy to see Shelley too, my old rock hunting buddy.
Yep, that's my buddy.
Yeah.
Did y'all find any?
We were stopping motors out there, getting information out there from hikers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did y'all get to do any rock hunting whenever y'all were there?
Nah, we didn't get to go. No.
Well, you mean with that big creek running down through that hollow there, y'all didn't go down and look anywhere along that?
I tell you what, there's a hike down to that creek. I was trying to keep up with Spencer, and I tell you what, he's like a rabbit.
Man, if he's faster than Cheryl, then I don't want to go hiking with Spencer because I can't keep up with Cheryl.
You better have your Nikes on.
Yeah. Cheryl will run down them trails. I remember that night we went to Panther Creek Falls in Georgia, and it was me and Kane and him, and they were killing me. I was an old fat boy that hadn't been walking much, and we went like 15 miles and made it about 8 or 9, and it got dark. Whew.
Well, heck, I was following Mark up that hill, and I was talking to myself, I said, please stop. I was the old man of the bunch.
Well, that's always fun anyway.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, Patrick, what's the number one thing you took out of this outing this weekend?
Oh, man. The camaraderie, just being able to see my friends again and getting together and just hanging out by the fire, and man, you just can't beat that. And I
Right.
just can't. I love it. I can't wait to go the next time.
Yeah.
Maybe you can come if you ain't
I
got to
hope
work.
so. I hope not.
Yeah, it was
Shelley,
really great.
Shelley, what about you?
Same thing. The camaraderie and the scenery was beautiful. We're not used to mountains living over here in West Tennessee near the Delta. So we just walked around with our mouths open, oohing and on. We looked like such tourists most of the time. But and just sitting around the campfire with everybody, it was awesome to see, Spencer. I love me some Spencer and Patrick again and Cheryl. I really enjoyed seeing it. It's been a long time since we've spent time with Cheryl, and it was just great spending time with him and meeting Mark and Anthony. I really enjoyed talking to you, Mark. It was very, very interesting, and you were so nice. I hope you had a good time.
Shelley, let me ask you this. Did Cheryl show up when everybody else did, or were y'all sitting around saying, there's Cheryl?
We did a couple of times. Well, he had to work. So we had already set up camp. So we went back and got him and brought him up. So he was there pretty quick, but because he didn't live that far away. But yeah, he got there pretty. So yeah, we did say there's Cheryl a couple. Nobody ever gets that joke because they weren't there.
Well, Kencho, how about you? What do you take away from this weekend?
Learned the true meaning. You guys do car camping like nobody else does. I don't do that, and so I'm ill prepared to car camp. So I enjoyed that, and I think the next time I will come more prepared, maybe with coolers and different kind of food instead of hiking food. So no, but really, I enjoyed sitting around the campfire and the friendship, being around people that are like-minded. We all agree on everything, but hearing the different ideas and maybe being able to take some of those things away and use some of those things on my own. For example, Spencer was so phenomenal in all the things that he said, learning about the flip and the black trash bags. I thought about that, and maybe we can go down to use that. So there was so much to learn. Just what do you take away and what do you use? The pickings were ripe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing about getting together with a group of people. You can always learn something from somebody there every time out. And it may not be the most active outing you ever been on in your life, but if you share a campfire and good food with good friends, that's all that matters. Anything else is just icing on the cake. Mark?
Hey, can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out to Jeff Townsend. Hope his mom's feeling better.
Yes, sir, definitely.
All right.
I know she got to come home from the hospital, so I think she's going to be fine, I hope. So, yeah, that was scary whenever he said it, for sure.
Yeah, that's my Grizz buddy. They sent me to wake up a grizzly bear out of a Suburban or a Blazer. He's my buddy.
I'll tell you a secret. All you got to do is rattle a Cheetos bag, and he'll wake up. Yeah, we love Jeff Townsend, though.
I know. Well, look, I thank you all for inviting me. I'm gonna slide off here. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So.
All right, Patrick. Thanks for coming on.
I didn't even know the time had changed when I got home.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
But I love y'all, and see you on the next trip around.
Okay.
All right,
Bye,
Patrick.
Patrick.
Take care.
Patrick.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.
All right, Mark Nebel. You get to give a synopsis of your weekend here, and then we'll cut everybody loose for tonight.
Well, this was pretty much like any of our outings that we have to put together on a weekend. Time just goes by too quick, and the things that we want to do, we don't have time to do. But I have to give kudos to Spencer for putting this together, for all the homework that he put into this to put us in a good spot for possible activity. And we did catch some awesome vocals and wood knocks. So, and it was great for us to be able to get together and to be able to go out what short time that we had and find a little success, and to be able to prepare for the next one. And I believe that we will build on the next time that we go to North Carolina. And it was just a great time with great friends, and I appreciate each and every person that come there and what they brought to the table.
Yeah. Well, Kench, I'm not going to get to talk to you much between now and the Odyssey outing. Y'all have it sometime soon, and I want to wish you luck on that and safety. Stay hydrated.
Thank you.
And don't let them mosquitoes drain you. But
They're about the
Thursday
size of
night,
pterodactyls down there.
yeah. Thursday night, we're going to have Cheryl on Beast TV. That's why we didn't have him on here. We didn't want to wear him out. So he will catch up on his end of the outing and so many more stories from that for sure. But we can't wait to see y'all then. Don't forget Moog Show. And I tell you what, our buddy Kane Michael has been putting out some very good evidence breakdown videos on House of Enoch. If y'all are not subscribed to that, go on YouTube and look up House of Enoch. And he's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 great evidence review videos that he's done that's worth checking out for sure. But anyway, guys, we're going to get off of here, and we will see y'all Thursday night on Beast TV, Sawdust Beast with Cheryl. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks. Good night.